Okay, welcome to another edition of Making a Brand. This is our product development installation. My guest host today, filling in for Tony Shellman, who's currently on the tables in Vegas, is the fashion icon and OG, Mr. Peter Paul. We are thrilled today to be joined by another fashion OG. Like many of us, his origin story begins in the early days of streetwear when there were like less than 10 credible brands, relevant brands, I should say. Dao-Yi cut his chops and paid his dues early with brands such as Mecca. Shout out to Mecca, of course. Echo, later becoming creative director at Sean John. Dao-Yi also served as the global creative director for Sergio Tacchini, another favorite brand of mine. Also was the artistic director at Donna Karan. Along with his partner Maxwell, he founded the legendary streetwear brand Public School. Their work at Public School earned them the illustrious CFDA Schwarzschild Award. Did I pronounce that right? Schwarzschild? Swarovski Award
I have trouble with it
for menswear. They also won the CFDA Vogue Fashion Fund. They also won the CFDA Menswear Award in 2014, the International Woolmark Award, and also the CFDA Lexus Fashion Initiative in 2019. Maybe a Source Award up in there somewhere as well. But
I wish.
we are thrilled to have you here with us, my brother.
Thank you.
A legend in this business. And now that we've ran down the impressive bio, just if you could tell us in your words, who is Dao-Yi Chow?
Well, thank you guys for having me here. I certainly consider you guys, my older brothers, not that much older, but so I appreciate you having me here. I get asked this question a lot about like how would I define who I am, and I really feel like my place, on this planet has been really as a family man first before anything. I have two beautiful sons and a beautiful wife, and I think before anything that I do outside of the home, I think my proudest and most important role is as a father and as a husband, a son, a brother, an uncle. So my family means a lot to me, and that really informs a lot of the decisions that I make on a daily basis, not only just in my career, but what I hope to kind of leave behind as a legacy, or when people remember me, hopefully they remember me as a family first man. Yeah.
I like that.
Yeah, I remember Dow, man, early days, man. What I really loved about you, man, was like it was similar to like my coming ups. I mean, I knew you to be involved in hip hop, but I remember seeing you on the runway, and you were like super confident back then, and I was like, oh, cool. You kind of started similar to me, where I went from dance to runway, so it was hip hop background on the runway, and then you got involved in fashion, man.
Yeah.
I mean, what was that leap between? I know the leap for me was I intentionally, strategically said I wanted to get next to designers.
Yeah.
Didn't really want to be a model per se. I wanted to be a rapper.
Yeah.
But I was like, the fastest, quickest way to get into fashion, probably get next to these actual designers.
Right. Actually, I mean, probably like a lot of people is really centered around music. I think coming up, it was less fashion focused and more wanting to be around the music. And I think the music is really what, when I say music, I mean hip hop. That was really driving the culture, back when we were coming up, right? It wasn't necessarily fashion, that the music was really the heartbeat of it all. And so I knew I always wanted to be around the music. Thought I would be some way, somehow, while I was still in school, DJing and making our little beats here and there, like some way, somehow figure a way into the music industry. And so fashion was really never a thought, at the time. Hip hop's relationship to fashion was pretty ancillary in the sense that there wasn't anything that was necessarily built or started from that community. Certainly, don't get me wrong, of course, the Carl Kanais and the April Walkers and the 555 Souls, those things were sort of still budding and coming of age. But I think everyone my age just wanted to be close to the music. So it really started through music. And that was, my introduction into fashion was always, through music. So
did somebody like handpick? How'd you get on the runway though? I mean, you was on some real runways. It wasn't like, you popped up in a lot of places, man.
Well, at the time I was still at school at NYU, and I was managing a shop called Footwork, which was Bobito Garcia's seminal shop that sold sneakers and records and mixtapes and clothes. Right. A harbinger of the shops that you see nowadays, right? It was pulling from all, like sneaker culture and music and fashion and all these things. So that was his shop, which was on 9th Street in the East Village, was like the epicenter. Like anyone that was into music or having anything to do with that space would meet there. Sort of like Fat Beats. It was actually in the first Fat Beats location. Oh, nice. So at the time we were selling a brand called Echo in the shop, which was still small, and and then I got cast for one of their first shows, and then that was sort of my entry point into fashion, I guess.